I am really connected to the weather. When I was younger and I was first learning about magic, I tested it out, and one of the first things that I did was control the weather. And I dropped magic pretty soon after that. It wasn't something that really stuck with me. I'm not entirely sure. The psychic stuff always did. That's always been a theme in my life, but for some reason, the magic aspect did not. But even now, I do work with the weather in my own ways. So recently I came across some weather magic, and I wanted to do a channeling on that because, again, I am connected to the weather. I am connected to the flows of life, the signs that I see in nature, whether it's through the weather or through just how people are acting in my environment, or through something that I see in the fridge, or through seeing birds in flocks or in certain formations, or whatever it is. I am very connected to nature and to the weather. And so there's that. And then the other element is I have a friend who is becoming quite the talented witch and magician. And I also want to share with her weather magic, not just because of the weather aspect, but because the concepts behind weather magic I think are wonderful. I think they're a great way to connect with the earth, connect with the magic of anything that you want to work with in the witchcraft realm. So it's really a very conceptual process that she can apply to weather if she wants to, or to anything else that she wants to do in her magic to up-level it and add a little bit more oomph and energy into it. So I want to do a little bit of channeling on weather magic in general. I don't know that I necessarily have a specific question, but just wanted to see what I get regarding weather magic. So let's get into it. Weather magic is awesome. It's exciting. It has so much potential, and it carries with it so much energy. It's electrifying. It's atmospheric. It can be very whole planet consuming. At the very least, it can be city-wide consuming. So weather has so much energy in it. And we live in this world where there's so much energy around us that is there for us to harness. What happens with all of that weather energy? It dissipates. But it's here for a moment. And it's here as part of the cycle of nature and the cycle of life and the cycle of clearing here on Earth, as cycles do tend to rule many things here on Earth and as well in other aspects of the universe. But there's all this energy that is there. So much energy that is available to so many of us because the weather energy is so grand, so big in scale that so many of us can tap into it, and there would still be so much left over to be used before it gets dissipated. So it's a very powerful force that nature wants us to harness. It is a gift that is brought into our lives. It's something positive that we can use. Mother Nature gives us gifts in so many different ways. Mother Nature gives us gifts in terms of fruits, in terms of shade, in terms of oxygen, in terms of beauty, and in terms of lessons on how, no matter how any force, any physical force, such as humans and their laws and their buildings, no matter how much they try to take over, at the end of the day, the spirit of nature, the spirit of ourselves, can never be quelled. So Mother Nature gives us a lot. A lot of times we look at the weather, and if it's anything but sunny and bright, we see it as a negative. And sometimes, yes, weather can create some very destructive forces in our lives. It can be traumatic for some. It can be life-altering. It can be very damaging. That's certainly for sure. And Mother Nature is powerful. She can be murderous in some ways, whether on purpose or by accident. So we see anything but a sunny day often as something that is negative. Sometimes we will see rain as something that's positive, it's cooling, it's nice, but we still often associate gloominess and grayness with it. And of course, the skies are gray when it rains, but do we have to assign gloominess to it? And of course, our minds are built for sunlight. If you do not have enough sunlight, you do get the SAD, seasonal, I forget what the A stands for, disorder. And we need artificial lighting in order to boost our spirits again. That's certainly a very real thing. But we need to start taking a different approach to weather, even some of the more horrendous aspects of it. Because as with the law of polarity, all things are essentially neutral. And we assign values as to whether it is positive or negative. And how we assign those values is what determines our experience. So, weather can be destructive. But how can we see that as a positive? Destructive means to destroy maybe something that we love. But what about destroying things that we need to get rid of in our lives that maybe we haven't had the power to do so? Maybe a lover who does not serve us, a lover who maybe is hurting us, maybe a job that really is hurting us and taking from us. And for whatever reason, we can't seem to get away from it to find a new one. A force of destruction can be very valuable. Maybe we have trauma that we've been trying to work through and we can't release it. Destroying that trauma could be very helpful to bring us peace. So it's important to understand that weather is this incredibly powerful force, and it is a gift that nature is giving us. And how we see it, or how we've been seeing it, is not as a gift, but as just this force that happens. And it's just nature, it's just the weather, it's just something that happens. It's just going about our everyday, or it's this traumatic event. We rarely see the weather as the gift that it can be. We never look at it and think, oh, this is another one of Mother Nature's gifts. So understand that weather is a gift that Mother Nature is giving to us. It's not just something that happens in the skies that the meteorologist predicts. It's a gift, and it's a powerful gift that, if not used, simply dissipates into the atmosphere. So let's use it. And so many of us can use it. It's a gift to so many of us. There's no way you can use all of the energy of the weather. Well, maybe you can, but most likely don't need to, or won't, or can't. Which means that so many of us can tap into it and get everything that we need. It's abundant. So it's important to take note of the weather, take note of storms, take note of a sunny day, and understand its power, understand that it's a gift, and start harnessing it in your life. The next time there's a storm out there, next time there's flooding, maybe see it as things that need to be washed away being washed away. Things that you have not been cleaning up within yourself or within your energy field, now being cleaned up. Your energy field being cleaned along with the rain showers and the flooding. Think about lightning as maybe a very electrifying key that can add energy to anything specific that has been lacking energy or enthusiasm. Look at nature and see how you relate to it. See what associations you can come up with that can serve you in whatever you're dealing with at your point in time in life, or whatever spells you're trying to work on, or whatever you're trying to manifest in. And during that storm, connect with it emotionally. Just feel into it. Recognize that it's there. And then, through your mind, harness the associations of it and pull in that energy, ask the energy to come into your life and to do whatever you intend for it to do. Ask for it to clear away anything that needs to be cleared away. Ask for it to destroy any kind of trauma you want to let go of. And imagine the trauma being released and you feeling more peaceful at the end. Or imagine all the dirt, all the gunk of the blocks that you have not been able to get to, washing away out of your aura, leaving a very cleansed aura that feels strong and healthy. So utilize this force. You can use your mind. If you are into witchcraft and magic, then go ahead and you can collect the rainwater. And you can add crystals. And you can add any other elements that you connect to. And again, doing this association work with the weather of what it means to you and harnessing the power of that meaning into your life. You can do that with anything. It doesn't just have to be the weather. This is how witches work. They see an herb and they have a connection to that herb, or they have an understanding of what that herb is able to help them with. Maybe ginger, for example, is something that adds more success to magical working and to the witch. Maybe you would like more success at work. You may want to consume ginger or add it to any kind of spells you're doing around work to bring in more of that success. Cinnamon is all about intuition. Maybe you would like more insight into a difficult situation at work. You may want to add cinnamon to give you more of that insight into your spell work around that situation or around work. There are different herbs and spices that can help with speediness. Maybe something you really would like it to come to you fast. Maybe you need some money fast. You would add in that herb or that spice into your ritual or your magic to bring that in faster. So like with the weather, this is how witches work with all other elements. So if you connect with the weather, harness it in its moments, understand what it means to you, and harness that energy into whatever you would like to bring into your life. And if you like to work with that, or if you don't, and you also want to work with other things, use the same concept. Create these associations with things that matter to you and what they mean to you, and bring them into your work, bring them into your manifestation, either through physical form, like collecting rainwater, or working with herbs, or simply using your mind and imagining the energy that you want to take from the storm, its meaning, and imagine applying it to your life.